to take a stand, take a stand.
This is the Joey Ebanks Show on Vibe FM.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first of the Vibe FM Joey Ebanks radio show. I need to clarify some things before we get into this discussion this evening. First and foremost, everything I say on here is my opinion. Has nothing to do with Vibe or anybody else. I'm not scripted. Everything I say is my opinion, it's my choice, and it's my word. So I want to start out by letting people know very clearly my first meeting to launch my political campaign for 2013 is going to be this Saturday at 6 p.m. at the north side, the Old Man Bay football field. So I'm inviting the country to come out because we're going to talk about Taylorism to begin with. Certainly, I've been... received recently a lawsuit threat from the governor and his attorney. I'm asking the public to understand that I'm not going to consistently be saying Governor Taylor because I have nothing but the utmost respect for the governor's office. I just don't have any respect for Duncan Taylor. Duncan Taylor, the man, as far as I'm concerned, I have no respect for. And I want to say to him, he gave me until the end of day today to respond in writing that I would not be saying certain things, and if I did not respond in writing, that he would be suing me. So this message is directly for him. Hold your breath. You hold your breath until I respond to you. The governors in this country need to steer our democracy. They dissolve parliament, and they step back, and they let the democracy happen. No one. I am an independent candidate, absolutely independent candidate, and I will not let anyone muzzle me during this campaign. Now, what we're going to talk about a little bit on Saturday night at my meetings, I'm going to show you how and why I no longer have any respect for Duncan Taylor. I have concerns about our justice system and our judiciary, and I'm going to roll this out and lay it up on screens, and I'm going to allow you all to see what has been transpiring here right under our nose and why I am in the legal position I am today. I'm also going to display nicely for you all up on the screen this email that Ezra Miller wrote to his buddies. In fact, I'm going to just read it for you right now because there's a lot of people saying they haven't seen it. This is an email written back in 2005. It's written to Ezra Miller from the then employment manager, Marlene Blake of the Ritz. And basically, here's what she says. Good morning, Mr. Miller. How are you? Our resort manager, Mark Levine, mentioned that he had a conversation with you some time ago regarding hospitality schools in Cuba. He asked me to follow up with you to see if you had any contact information for those schools in Cuba. Thank you for your assistance, Marlene. So Marlene is basically writing to Ezra and saying she's looking for a contact number to bring in some employees. The second part of this email is Ezra writing to his friend Steve Scott, the then CFO of CUC, Eddington Powell, and the email address that says ocean@candy. And I'm assuming this is his brother Jerris because Jerris' name will appear in the email. I'm going to read it now to you. It begins with, all, I have committed to this recruitment for the Ritz, so we need to visit Cuba ASAP and sort this out. I am unable to leave before May the 25th as I need to be around for next week, depending on what happens in elections. Jerris, you need to contact Fernandez so he can assist us with this, and I will contact my people in Cubacan and ask for their help. The fee I have quoted the Ritz is 15% of annual salaries plus expenses. I want to read that again for you, ladies and gentlemen, because we're talking about, and let me read it again. The fee I have quoted the Ritz is 15% of annual salaries plus expenses. Can you confirm availability for May the 25th so I can proceed with arrangements? Ezra. The next part of the email thread is an email from the bean counter. Addington Powell, who says, Ezra, how many positions the Ritz would want to fill from this source? Ezra's reply, I have asked Marlene for a list of positions, but it is likely to be several hundred. I have also made some contacts in DR, which is Dominican Republic, for them, so we may need to take a trip there as well. Signed EM for Ezra Miller, I assume. So I also have, and I'm going to put up on the screen at my meeting, a copy of the Cayman Islands Gazette, dated Thursday, the 15th of January, 2004. And it's the Gazette with the work permit board, where Mr. D. Ezra Miller is the chairman. The deputy chairman is Robert C. Bodden, and there are other board members who were appointed at that time, and I'm not accusing any of them of anything. But you'll be able to see this, and I'll give you some copies that you can take away with you too. Now, both pieces of these emails, the email along with the Gazette, I sent to the Commissioner of Police, David Baines, and asked for an investigation. He saw it fit, after reading it, to pass it on to the Corruption Crime Unit. He responded to me in an email saying that it had been passed on to the Corruption Crime Unit for further investigation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, nothing has happened since. Now, we know in this country that the RCIP takes direction from the governor's office. The question we have to ask is, why hasn't anything further occurred with this? Secondly, included in that email to Commissioner Baines was another accusation I made. The accusation was that the current acting managing director of the ERA had paid himself and the staff bonuses without board approval back in 2011. This came to my attention through the audit when I was the managing director in 2012. The Auditor General's office and the auditor from his office pointed out to me, or in an email, that it had not been approved. There was no paper trail to show there was approval. And there was an attempt to get him to find it or backdate an approval which did not occur. The audit was approved. It was signed off by the Auditor General's office. So I am now saying to the Commissioner of Police, sir, you helped to create, the Auditor General helped to create further corruption by approving an audit and not calling the Corruption Crime Unit to investigate and arrest Louis Bouchard, the current acting managing director of the ERA. Nothing has happened with that as well. Now, if the governor, if Taylor wants to sue me, please go ahead and sue me. Because here's what I want when I get to court. I want you to give me access to all the emails in relation to the entire audit and show the paper trail as to how there was a clear discussion on this issue and how the audit was approved, was tabled to the board of the ERA, and there was no one who reported it to the RCIP. So, you know what, Taylor? You just bring it. Because I am telling you, you picked the wrong Cayman man to attack this time. And I am not going away. And I am not going to let you muzzle me. You are not Cayman. The people of this country are Cayman. And I want justice. I'm not going to sit back and let you dictate the quality of justice that I receive. Justice is supposed to be free and for all. And all I've asked is, it's fine for anyone to accuse me of anything. That's fine. That's within their rights. Just do not go out into the media and poison the jury pool so I cannot get an unbiased jury. Give me my day in court. If you found evidence that requires you to charge me, then by all means, charge me and let me go to court. Let me get my lawyer and let me go to court. What has transpired here is something completely different. I received a telephone call from an executive member, Emil Scott of the C4C on Friday evening on my way home, and I was told then I would be suspended. My position within the ERA is hired and fired by cabinet only. My contract is signed by the governor in cabinet, and cabinet appoints this position. The following day on a Saturday, I was suspended at about 4:30 in the evening. I want you, Taylor, to explain to the people in this country how you let cabinet information, which is privileged, be used by a political party to attack a civil servant prior to him having knowledge of what was coming his way. You explain that to the court, sir. And the next time you write me a letter, you think twice about it, because quite frankly, my entire legal fees to date is zero, except for the ones you're going to use in my tax money, sending me these silly letters from attorneys and running up the costs in this country. Rather than do that, I suggest that you call me in, meet me man to man, and let us end this before it gets really out of hand. Because I have every intention, sir, and you need to make note of this. I will take this as far global as I need to take it to get you out of my country. You, sir, need to leave, and we need a new governor. It is a shame that I, a Caymanian man, should have to fight to defend Her Majesty's territory against persons like you who are appointed and obligated to do so. And I stand solely behind England and behind the Queen, so let's not make this an anti-England thing, because it's not. This is a Joey versus Duncan Taylor thing, and you have overstepped your bounds and your authority, and I am going to see you out of my country. So help me God, I'm going to bring every bit of corruption in this country to its knees, and we're going to do that in this campaign. I am a candidate. This is a democracy. Stay out of my way. Okay? Have a good evening. We're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking to my good friend Matthew Leslie, and we're going to talk about some of the topics. So don't hesitate to send me a text as well, 917-9288. Now that I've dealt with a little bit of Taylorism, you do join me now on April the 6th at 6 p.m. Old Mambe Playfield, and I'll show you the rest of the Taylorism and what's going on in this country. Hold on, here we go to the next commercial break.
I'm not afraid to take a stand, take a stand.